Hey guys, Chris here, Yellow Day Energy. So we're just going to go over how to put the helix together, some issues you might have if you don't make this perfectly even every time. It is a 12-piece spinner, so this isn't 3. This isn't something you can buy at 7-Eleven. Anyway, this is probably one of the more complicated spinners on the market right now, guys. They are limited. I've got about 30 of every color left, and then after that, these are gone forever. And it's not because the design's wrong. I love it. I really love my spinner that I've made, but I have tons of other designs out there, and we are going to go full limited. My buddy Chris that introduced me to spinners a long time ago, he talked about limited, and I really like the idea of it now, because once these are out there, they're collector's items, essentially, and that's what they are. So we still do have a few hundred models left that I built already, and we might do an Indiegogo actually and put them on there, and so that I can bring out the next design. Anyway, so how to put these together. You got your cradle right here. You take your pin, you put it in. Not rocket science, right? These are not that hard to build. Make sure that it's fully in. They can stick a little bit. They're brand new. And these are fractions of a millimeter. Like it's really small amounts. Now, here's your bullet. It has a chamfer on this side. It has no chamfer on this side. I don't know if you guys can see that. No chamfer. Oop. Chamfer. A little bit of a small one. You put the non-chamfer end in first. Alright? The more times you break these apart, the smoother you're going to actually end up getting. These are tumbled, sandblasted, and then anodized, so they will have, like, again, fractions of a millimeter of width on here. Anyway, so see, like, I'm not pushing this one in correctly right now. Like, it's not evened out, so it's just not going in. There we go. Like, this isn't hard. You just have to take your time with them. Now, once you got it together like this, you need to, all I do is I push on the bullet and I pull on the back of the fin, and I do it on both. So I'm going to do it on this one too. Now, you can kind of see at the bottom here, there's a little gap that forms. That's what you want. You want it all the way around. Now, I still hold. I hold back here and I push on the bullet. This takes a little bit of time to get used to. And I'm doing it all the way around and making sure. And then what you need to do after that is make sure your gap is good. You're going to have a little bit of a gap right here. You'll be able to see right beside your bullet. So it's there, there, and there. Make sure that they're all good. You put your buttons in. This is right off my table, guys. Oh yeah, she's running good. Now you're going to get a little bit of a, I'd say it's a little bit of a chime when you turn it like this. It's supposed to be like that. There's, again, fractions of a millimeter. We wanted the buttons to fit perfectly, everything like that to run. Now, one question I get is some of these bearings are not glued in. Most of them actually aren't, because I wanted you guys to be able to clean them. If you get a bit of a grinding noise, it's probably because you have micro dust. There is little tiny balls inside these bearings, little tiny bearings inside of them, inside the housing. And there's micro dust that gets in there. So you either blow it out with air, you have an ultrasonic cleaner, it only costs you about 25 bucks, something like that. Maybe less. Anyway, so on the cradle, there's a spot where the entire, if you push as hard as you can kind of hear how it grinds and it slows down. Now, if you push the bearing so it flattens out, I'll show you guys again. So there's the bearing, and see how there's a flat spot here. You can push the bearing all the way down as hard as you want, and then it stops. So if you have it out and your bearing's not glued in, so this is in. No, I'm doing it wrong, sorry. So that's not in all the way. You can hear the grinding, and it'll eventually halt. You push it all the way down, and you're in business. Oh, yeah. Now, if at any point your cradle is moving, if you can feel it, like, and I'm talking like a very small amount. They're not supposed to move at all. It is, you undo your set screws, or you can do one at a time, and you make sure that everything is completely tight. Again, you push on the back here and you pull on the bullet. So like this. This isn't something you can buy at 7-Eleven, and these are 100% limited, guys. So after these are gone, they're gone forever. This is one of the more complicated spinners on the market right now. This isn't a 3-piece, this is a 12. This is metal art. I advise you not to give these to your kids, but you can. But if they drop them, if they smack on them, like if they go like this all the time, like kids do, and you know, because they're kids, they will loosen up, and you're going to have to rearrange. You're going to have to undo it and make sure everything's good again, because these are 12 pieces. This one's right off the table. I just got it going. I do not sell these that aren't working right. So they leave my bench working. By the time they get to you, they might have been tossed around in the box a bit, and you guys can see how I package them. I put tons of peanuts inside my packaging, and I even put them in a nice little bubble wrap mailer bag and all that jazz. And I give you guys a bag with them. Now, if you think you've stripped one of your set screws, 99% of the time, it's probably your Allen key. These are not very expensive Allen keys. I just wanted to give you guys one. I haven't personally had any issues with it, but I've had 2 people say that they've thought they've stripped the set screw, and I'm like, well, it's a 1.5 millimeter Allen key. You can pick these up almost anywhere. Canada, Canadian Tire, you guys probably got Home Depot. Be able to probably pick them up there. Any hardware store, 1.5 millimeter. Okay? I don't know what the fraction is on that, but that's what I ordered as. Anyway, the other thing too is how to spin these. Now, most people spin, they got their middle finger and their thumb. And you can take your pointer finger here and you spin like that. Now, the best way, in my personal opinion, Chris learned how, or he flicks with his ring finger here. So you see this little gap here? You can flip it around either way. And what you do is you just flick it like that. But when you get really good at it, you can give it a throw. So you throw and you flick at the same time. And this thing, like, I'll try and hold it sideways for you guys. It runs super fast. We can almost get 4 minutes out of a single spin just like that. When you have the bearing super clean and on a nice level plane thing, we've gotten almost 9 minutes out of a hybrid ceramic bearing. You can go to full ceramic. There's nothing wrong with it. But they cost a little bit more, and we do have a bunch in stock. Anyway, so what else on these? So make sure your chamfer is on the outside. So you can have it right here. You can kind of see there's a little chamfer on the bullet. If you don't like how much the bullets are actually pushing in to the cradle, you can take a little bit of glue, and like I use this, it's a gel Gorilla Glue. You can put a little bit of glue right on the inside here, the inside hole of your cradle, put your bullet or your pins in, and they'll hold a little bit, because they do twist. As these are all twisted together, they're all doing it. There's nothing wrong with it. That's how it's supposed to work, because that's how it's designed. You can also, if you do not want your bearing to be like able to be pushing it out like I'm doing it here, you can put a little bit of glue on the edge around. You push it down. I use JB Weld most of the time, but sometimes it doesn't work, so you gotta use super glue, and I use Gorilla Glue. And then you just take a Q-tip and you go all the way around, and then you make sure that there's nothing on the top, and that's about it. Again, guys, these are complicated. They don't look complicated, but they are. If these are 100%, they have problems with human error. So if you are having an issue with yours, it's because you have it set up wrong. I think I've covered everything. I've had a few people ask some questions on theirs. Make sure that there's no wobble inside of your cradle. If it is, you have to tighten it back up. And you don't have to tighten these hard. If you were stripping this Allen key, you were tightening these too hard. Like, really? Like, that's loose? That's tight. Like, we're not going crazy on these things at all. Yeah. Anyway. So, again, I have lots of bullets, pins, and buttons if you guys want to pick them up. Later on, I will be putting some more stuff on the website. I do have some full brass. Again, we have about I'd say anywhere between 30 on every color. Some are less, orange and green, a little bit less on the colors. We've sold most of those out. And after this, we're going to have my next design coming out. We're also going to put out a custom list for custom tricolors. They're going to probably cost about 200 US, but you're going to be able to pick out your tricolor that you want. Now, if you can hear this, this is probably because it's got dust in the bearing. Yeah, it has dust in the bearing. But again, these are not these aren't sealed bearings, so really easy to clean and all that jazz. If you take care of these, there's no reason these won't last your entire life. This one has been through thousands of people's hands. This is the prototype Helix 1. I've dropped it 8 feet. I've gouged all of the bullets, and it's a little bit loose, but she still runs like super well. So if you're having problems with yours, again, 100% human error. I hope you guys enjoy them as much as I did making them. Once we're sold out, we are gone forever. And yeah. So have a great day. Don't work too hard because I won't. And yeah, see you later.